been kind of frustrating because we've seen them all over on the way and there's really no good place to pull over.
We're in Central California for a week-long birding trip with our friend and professional bird guide Rachel Clark. On our first 2 days, we went to some incredibly scenic and beautiful places, finding some amazing bird species in the process. On day 3, we were still in search of some incredible birds, but the search area was definitely not quite as pristine.
Morning everybody, Derek here from Badgerland Birding with Ryan and our guide Rachel. Today we're looking for some cool stuff in California. This is going to kind of be not as scenic of a day, but hopefully we'll be able to rack up some unique species. So kind of finding those birds in those unique places. And it's always neat to see where birds have adapted to being in urban environments or just been able to adapt to other conditions they're not normally used to. So excited to see what we find today and hopefully we'll have some good luck.
First stop today is going to be yellow-billed magpie location, which Rachel says could be a little sketchy, but we're hoping that we get yellow-billed magpie without getting mugged. That's the goal. Our first target of the day was a species that can only be found in California, the yellow-billed magpie.
So we are officially in yellow-billed magpie territory, so we are all on yellow-billed magpie patrol. They are this awesome bird that's endemic to California. This is excellent habitat for them. We're going to go out today and try to find some active nest colonies in a few different spots. They are these really long-tailed, very conspicuous birds with these beaks that are, what color is it? Oh yeah, yellow.
Aptly named, you gotta love it.
The banana-billed magpie?
Yes.
Rachel was certainly correct about the urban environment being yellow-billed magpie territory, as we saw several from the busy road we drove into town on. However, with no room to pull over, we couldn't get any prolonged looks. And if you've been watching us for a while, you know that we were looking for more. We were driving down the road and we actually got to see some yellow-billed magpies as we were moving up on some of the power lines. This is a pretty busy road and there's a lot of private property around, so we're not going to stop here, but we're hoping that since we saw some already, that means they're abundant in the area. We arrived at a recreation center where we hoped to locate some nesting yellow-billed magpies, in addition to some other western bird species. It didn't take very long for Rachel to hear a bird that would be a lifer for both of us.
Rachel heard a Nuttall's woodpecker, so we're going to try to track that down. Also saw slender-billed white-breasted nuthatch, which may be split sometime in the future, so that's kind of a neat one to have. But hopefully we'll be able to track down this Nuttall's and then also see some yellow-billed magpies. It's been kind of frustrating because we've seen them all over on the way and there's really no good place to pull over.
We quickly tracked down the Nuttall's woodpecker, which after being able to view for a while, impressed us with its beauty and cuteness.
Woohoo, you guys just got your life for Nuttall's woodpecker. What?
I really have an affinity for some reason for the Nuttall's woodpecker, and we think that they're nesting somewhere in this tree because the male is having a big time reaction right now and has some food with it too. So we got some awesome looks at it. I think it might actually be in the top 5 of species that we've seen here so far, and I can't explain why, it just is.
Finally got eyes on the Nuttall's. It was very pretty, kind of like one of the ones that wasn't super on my radar about when we were thinking about coming here, but like now getting eyes on it, it's like, wow, that's a really beautiful woodpecker. So awesome to see that one. Now let's go get some magpies.
We proceeded following the road, getting frequently distracted by the multitude of different species actively moving around.
Looking at some adorable little bush tits right now. They basically look like cotton balls with wings and a beak.
Just got some rough views of California towhee, but nonetheless that is a new life bird that we did not have before, so count that one even though the views weren't so great. It's possible that we could get some better looks at that species later on in the week though. Having found 2 new life birds and many other exciting western species, we decided it was time to move on.
We're now moving on from this road where we had a lot of great birds to try to focus on our yellow-billed magpies. Those are ones that I'm super excited to get close-up views of. That bill looks so distinctive. I'm excited to just kind of stare at one and look at all the ID features, so hopefully we get some good looks at those.
Before leaving, however, we had to do one more thing.
Peeling that orange we got at the fruit stand the other day.
For what reason?
Got to do a fruit review.
The thing looks like it doesn't come off easy.
It does not. I'm going to peel it and we'll be back with you. We have our orange peeled, very juicy. That's delicious. I think it's juicier than like a store-bought orange. I'm gonna give it an 8 too. I could have a little more flavor. It was pretty hard to peel, but the juiciness and the freshness, I think, really get it into the 8s for me.
Rachel made the decision to stop at a boat launch where some yellow-billed magpies had been reported. It turned out to be a great move.
Stopped at a boat launch here for yellow-billed magpie views, and they're calling right now.
I felt like you were getting worried.
I was getting worried for a moment there, because we'd seen them this morning, and there was just no good place to pull over, and then I thought we'd for sure get them at the recreation area we were just at, but no dice on that, so I'm just like, oh.
In this location, we got plenty of excellent views of the magpies, as well as a few other interesting species too. Excellent views of the yellow-billed magpie, and there's multiple individuals in here making that shattering, rough noise that you're probably hearing in the background. So we finally saw one that just perched out on the edge of a branch, and these are some beautiful birds. They have a really nice sheen to the back, beautiful coloration, and that bill stands out really well. You feel happy?
Yeah, this was a great stop. It was really nice to actually like sit and enjoy the magpies doing their thing. We saw one eating, they were singing, they were interacting with each other. There was like a kestrel family around too, so there's a lot going on. This was an excellent stop.
Before leaving, we noticed something that, as bird and nature lovers, was a little bit alarming.
Although we saw a lot of cool birds here, there's also just tons of feral cats that it looks like people are coming to feed. Like, this is way more feral cats than I've ever seen in one place, so that's obviously not great. There's a lot of varieties, different colors, different sizes, so interesting thing to note.
Leaving the magpies and the multitudes of feral cats, we set our sights on some new species in a brand new habitat. After seeing the magpies, we got some food, and now we've been going through this really interesting looking habitat with all this golden colored grass. It's kind of like an oak savanna is sort of the vibe that it gives off, but it's actually really pretty with that golden color on both sides. We found a decent amount of different species here. We weren't able to find barn owls, which we were looking for, and now we're hoping to be able to hear and then get some looks at tricolored blackbirds, which seems like it would be a tough find, but it's a species that we would definitely like to see. Tricolored blackbirds are something of a California specialty species, with the Golden State probably being the best place to find them. Unfortunately, we weren't there at the most ideal time of year, and with many of the reports being on private and inaccessible land, we knew checking this bird off our list would be a challenge. Even so, we did manage to locate some cool species, including a Bullock's Oriole, a Swainson's hawk, and even a surprise life bird.
We've been cruising this oak savanna and we saw some bicolored red-winged blackbirds, but no tricolors yet. So we're still on the prowl. We had a lark sparrow, and something cool was Rachel actually spotted a prairie falcon, which is a lifer for Ryan and I. The views weren't very satisfying, but the media we got seems to confirm it. So I'm gonna do a closer look on that later, but it seems like we got a lifer prairie falcon. So that's awesome. Hopefully we'll get some of those tricolors.
While we did find some great species while wandering these country roads, the tricolored blackbirds never made an appearance. We are moving on from this savanna habitat, and now we're going to try to track down two more species that would be lifers for us, the canyon wren and then also the Clark's grebe. So these may be easy, but they may also take a lot of effort, so we'll just have to see how it plays out. But in terms of the tricolored blackbirds, we are going to have to try to find those another day. Our search location was a large artificial lake, which had a unique appearance and vibe, looking like it had popped up in the middle of a desert. Almost immediately, we noticed a lot of birds out on the water. You see one?
I see a whole bunch of Western/Clarks. We're gonna go find one, and we're gonna make one of these a Clark's grebe for you guys.
So we have a bunch of Clark's/Western grebes out there, but unfortunately they're like smack dab in the middle of this enormous lake. There's like jet skiers and stuff going through them, and they just don't care, because I thought maybe they would come in a little closer. So we're going to try to get closer to them so that we can get a better visual, because ID between the two can be a little tricky. So hopefully we'll be able to get some closer views.
We looked around the shores and out in the middle of the lake, getting some fun views of rock wrens, spotting a fair amount of killdeer, and seeing some close-up western grebes. Eventually, we had success distinguishing one of the Clark's grebes way out in the center of the lake.
Looks like we got Clark's.
Long-range Clarks. Would like to see one closer, but still cool.
You sniped them.
Sniped them.
You can see that eye clearly in the white.
Oh, absolutely. There's no two ways about it. The feathering over the eye is definitely white. The flanks were definitely paler too. Very diagnostic marks for Clark's grebe.
Successfully checking off our first target bird at the lake, we turned our attention to target bird number 2.
We had the distant Clarks. Now we're going to go look for canyon wren while also maybe scanning for some better Clark's views along the way. So hopefully we'll be able to pick up a canyon wren. We've seen tons of rock wrens. We also had a killdeer family, and then there was a rabbit we saw, and some ravens as well. So we're picking up some cool species here, really unique habitat.
A little ways down the road, Rachel was able to hear and then get an eye on a canyon wren.
We got canyon wren. They're really awesome to watch. They were darting around. I think there were about 3, darker than the other rock wrens, and of course the song is different than the rock wren song, so that was an awesome find.
Not only did we get to see canyon wrens, but we noticed that they were in the middle of something important.
So not only do we have some canyon wrens up here, but they're feeding young. So it looks like one's going into a crevice and then coming back out, and you can hear the little noises. And then one actually came out and was doing the fledgling wing pump, wanting food, and then one came out and sang. So we're having an incredible canyon wren experience, and an incredible landscape too.
Getting both of our target birds at the lake, we looked around a bit longer, finding lesser goldfinches and getting to see some California quails up close. We called it a day, feeling great about finding so many interesting species in places that one wouldn't think would contain such an array of unique birds. It's worth noting that we would have had a lot more trouble finding these species if we didn't have Rachel helping us out. If you're interested in booking a tour with her, you can check out her website with the link in the description below. And if you'd like to see more videos about birding in California, take a look at one of these. And as always, thanks for watching. We'll see you next time on Badgerland Birding.